Okay, I was trying to randomize ores, and I worked with random ores, and it didn't look quite right. So I decided to sit with a 8x8 repeat texture. Once I got that done, I started thinking about animating them. But then I started thinking, well, to animate an 8x8 texture, I would have to basically do separate frames of animation for 64 different tiles, which of course would be way too time consuming. So the solution that I came up with, and I thought it was brilliant at the time, and it worked fairly good, at least in 1.5.2, was I started by making a shimmer animation. It's 64 frames long, and it basically is a completely white texture that has a gray stripe going down it, and it's very smooth animation, and it's just completely white. Now this shimmer animation is the base texture for this block, and then using RenderPass 3 I took and wrapped the entire 8x8 repeat texture over. So basically the 8x8 repeat texture has tiny little transparencies, little holes all throughout it, where the shimmer can bleed through. Now here it is on the iron, and the effect is almost exactly what I want. But on gold it works really good. And so there you go. You see, I mean, it totally works. And not only that, but using multiple render passes, I was able to make it so that the particles were correct. And using a little bit of trickery by making the first and only the first block non-transparent, I can make the iron ore down here a perfect iron ore block. Now, everything works fine here. You see, I mean, this is a totally fine and acceptable solution to a randomized ore animation problem. So basically, I have 64 frames of animation for 64 different ores. Now, I'm going to pop over to my 1.7.9 pack, and I'm going to show you how this is now broken and how I've got to find a way to work around it. Okay, so here we are in my 1.7.9, and I'm updating this thing to a resource pack. And I'm not having any trouble except for this ore. Now, check this out. When it's placed, it looks just fine, the animation works fine, everything is great. But, as you can see, even though it has the correct particles coming off of it, once it starts being broken, and when it's being held, it is this, which is the base animation for the texture. Something in 1.7.9 is different from the way that it was in 1.5.2, and I cannot find a workaround. I would be greatly appreciative if someone could show me a way to make the image for the block when it's being held appear like this. It doesn't matter what kind of workaround it is. I don't even care if it's animated. I just want the block to look proper when it's in my hand. Thank you very much.